No, I'm coming my way.
Traffic danger 300 feet above.
My name is Tim Palmer and I fly a Jodel DR 1050 out of a farm strip in East Anglia. Welcome back to the vlog and a big thank you to all my new subscribers. I really appreciate your support. I fly for fun and basically record for my own interest and review. I like sharing my flying experiences, good and bad, and try to edit for enjoyment and storytelling. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and do leave me a comment as it makes it all worthwhile. It was really good to finally get the chance to fly with Adam and to work on our joint YouTube project. The response has been great and people have enjoyed seeing how we each set about editing from the same film stock. I'd like to welcome all those new subscribers who've arrived as a result of watching Adam's video, and I would like to thank those people who emailed me from all over the world.
Have you got them?
A number of people noticed and commented on a slightly different style of my work. That's interesting, and I'll talk about more of that later on. After this section of Adam's video, and a reminder of the 4 films in the joint YouTube project, I go back over that scary takeoff for Adam and his first experience of the Nayland Hill.
Against that leading edge.
Yeah.
And then there's more up there, opposite that jetty.
Oh yeah.
Looking back through the footage, the cameras really don't do it justice, but on the ground this is what you can actually see.
All lying in there.
In the meantime, if you haven't yet seen any of our work from the joint project, I'll put links in the description below. And that gives you 4 videos to enjoy. What tends to happen is the fact that it's a bit like flying off an aircraft carrier, not that I ever have, and when you get to the top there and the hill drops away, we normally look to fly out straight or even climb away.
I must admit, after Tim said quite a few times that we wouldn't be going down the hill, it did take me by surprise when we were rapidly heading towards the trees.
So where do you expect to be airborne generally with conditions like today?
On the slope, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 600 metres, so probably 300 metres we should be airborne.
Probably a bit before that
Yeah.
because of the hill.
Yeah.
I don't envisage going down the hill today.
Okay.
I envisage this as a straightforward because the air is quite cold.
Yeah.
So therefore that's quite dense.
Yeah.
There's not much of a wind to talk about. As I say, I don't envisage going down the hill.
Nayland traffic, over Yankee Echo Hotel is rolling, Nayland traffic. This was in fact Adam's second takeoff, but I've included it because we were actually even closer to the trees this time. Weight and balance wise we were well within limits, but the grass was long and the ground was wet, and there was a slight tailwind. The road comment was a reference to another of my videos. You will notice that I actually turn left just a little bit to play safe.
This is probably the closest I want to get to doing some bush piloting.
Yeah.
You know, the missionary bush pilot?
Yeah.
Adam's channel features an interview he did with Ryan. Ryan's channel, Missionary Bush Pilot, has a tremendous following, and his material filmed in Papua New Guinea is absolutely great. I did contact Ryan for advice, and he was good enough to give me a detailed reply. As well as other things, he told me to reduce the shot times and if possible increase the number of cameras I use. I will play part of one of his videos now. He manages to produce 2 a week, and then I'll explain a little bit more.
Hit select together, and the autopilot's just going to level off for me. I don't have to do anything. Moresby 6622 November Tango Echo request. November Tango Echo requesting area QNH. 1008, thank you. Right, we'll go 1008 so that we have accurate numbers for our climb. Set up our secondary 1008, even though it's a nice perfect day. And bring our...
If I play that again without sound, this time counting the shot length, you might see what I mean. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, enough of that. You probably knew it already. Have a look at Ryan landing on a 600-metre sloping runway. Yeah, that sounds familiar, but his is surrounded in jungle.
When you come in, you actually match the slope with your power settings and everything. So let's say you want to land in 60 meters in at the first cone. Well, typically you basically point to about a plane and a half before you want to touch down. If you're right on your speed, so that when you flare and reduce power, that's the amount of distance that it's going to take. But because we're on a hill runway now, we actually have to bring that spot back because you're basically coming in, leveling off, then reducing power and flaring at the same time. So I'm going to have to bring that spot back probably at least another plane and a half further back from the point that I would normally go, so that by the time I actually can touch down.
So what's your technique then for landing uphill?
I think sort of forget it's a hill, really.
Okay, yeah, that wasn't a proper answer.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, to be honest, once you get used to the strip, it does actually sometimes make landing on a flat strip difficult.
Yeah.
Because, of course,
you're so used to it.
a tail dragger in a slight crosswind on a big tarmac, you know, you're having to work really hard.
College 4200, Alpha Charlie 508, I on final, 124. Roger, College 4200, second traffic is now landing, and report 2 miles. Report 2 miles, College 4200.
Just make a quick call.
Nayland traffic, over Alpha Yankee Echo Hotel, turning final Nayland traffic.
I aim for the slab at the bottom.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not going to be on the slab. And then you just set up the approach, and the hill comes up to meet you. As I say, when you get used to it, it actually is not as frightening as it sometimes looks.
Yeah.
But as I tried to explain in that last one, if we've got a strong crosswind, you've got curlovers. And some of those curlovers can dump you.
Approaching from the northeast, we'll be joining downwind 3-1 in about 5 minutes.
Match the slope before I flare.
500.
5 knots tailwind.
We've got a scoring party on the left-hand side. Can you see them standing by the hedge?
Yeah.
When I first started flying here, they used to do that. You used to all come out.
The scorecard.
And, well, they used to wave fingers at you to tell you how they thought you were doing.
even though I say it myself, that was a real greaser. So yeah, let's look at it again from a different angle. Oh, really sweet. And what's more, there's the third one.
Wow. That was
So
perfect.
there we are, that's Nayland.
That was perfect. Thank you so much. It's been fantastic.
What we normally do is I fly straight and level,
Yeah,
and he does whatever he does.
yeah. And do you know,
But you've probably seen that in the videos.
I have, yeah. But do you know another thing is the first is I've never done any formation flying either. I know this is not necessarily a formation, but it's
Yeah.
So how did you get into aviation back in the 80s or 75?
I basically got a flying scholarship with the Air Cadets. It was my intention, my hope to go into the Air Force. And although I went to Biggin Hill and did a number of selections, I received a letter saying I'd passed the selection, but they couldn't offer me a commission at that stage. There was a big political change in '74, which changed all the funding. So I was told to try again. And I did that a couple of years, 3 times I think it was. I also tried Navy. I got down to the last 7 out of 85.
And of that 7, only 1 got through.
I was going to self-fund a commercial, but at that stage Courtline went bust. And because they went bust, they actually flooded the market with trained pilots.
Right, okay.
So on that basis, I went into teaching, which is what my family are in. I was lucky enough to be able to have the aeroplane to fly. I shared it with somebody else, so it meant that I could fly at the weekends and during the holiday.
What aircraft was that?
That was a Peel Emerald. And that was one that we actually had to rebuild. We had to spend 10 months rebuilding it.
Wow.
Later on, when the children were about 5 and 3, I did a commercial ground school, and I started to do the flying for it. But at that stage, I couldn't afford it.
Did you do any of the exams, or did you
Yeah,
just,
I did all the exam side of it.
Wow.
But the one thing that was getting me was the fact that it was coming out at £150 an hour, which really was just too much. And I had to say to myself, am I going to do this and be able to fly, or am I better off doing the teaching, which I enjoyed doing, and enjoyed doing the flying as well.
Yeah, to have as a hobby.
That's the way it worked out, really.
And you had some recent health scares as well, right? You had some health scares.
Yeah, 2013, I had 2 heart attacks right in the middle of the summer holiday.
Oh God! What actually happened? Were you at home, or were you relaxing at the time?
I was watching England and Scotland play football. But no, I don't know. There was no reason for it as such. But there's been a lot of pressure at school.
Right. Okay.
My school was, I loved it to bits. I'd been head for 17 years when I finished. But there's a lot of pressure on data and performance. And for a lot of my children, just going to school was a challenge enough. They were saying to me that I should focus my attention on making my level 3s a level 4.
Right, okay.
Which is fine, but I felt I needed to make my attention making my 2 a 3, my 3 a 4, a 4 a 5, a 5 and a 6. because I thought everybody needed to move forward. The local authority and Ofsted didn't like that very much.
Right, okay.
Because as far as they were concerned, they wanted 80% of the country to be at level 4.
Right.
But I wanted the best for every child in my school. So that put a lot of pressure.
A word of advice here. Had I gone to the doc earlier, I might just have had a couple of stents fitted and not had the 2 heart attacks. But I didn't. I thought I'd always coped well with the pressure of work, but my cardiologist said that stress is a result of poor sleep patterns, a poor diet, often snacking on the wrong things, no exercise, and the other factor is a family heart history, which we can't do anything about. I'm not complaining. I feel very lucky to be alive, and I appreciate every single day. On that note, and the idea that we could be coming out of this lockdown, let's finish with a few Nayland takeoff and landings to keep us going. Yeah.